Hey buddy, how did you get so tall? What's your story and where did you come from? Who put you here and what's it like facing the winds and the rains all these years? Trees. They come in all shapes and sizes and are found in our parks, gardens, and along the road. Yet we often take them for granted despite the very important role they play in our environment, bringing humans closer to nature. Today, let me take you on the life journey of one of these trees, from its humble beginning as a seed to how it grows big and healthy under the care of officers at the National Parks Board, eventually providing shade, shelter and greenery to our city in nature. So let's head over to our first stop, the bank. Hi, is this a bank? Can I make a withdrawal, please?
Oh, sorry, you can't because we got no cash here, but we have lots of seeds here.
Oh, right. So we are here in the Singapore Botanic Garden Seed Bank and I'm with Wee Fong. So Wee Fong, can you tell me why do we need a seed bank here in Singapore?
Well, okay, so we need a seed bank here in Singapore because plants around the world are facing lots of threats, ranging from deforestation to urbanization and also climate change. So with all these pressures that's acting on them, some of these plants may go extinct. In order to conserve these plants, we can actually grow them in botanic gardens, we can propagate them in nurseries, or we can conserve them here in the seed bank. Alright, so now we're heading to a germination lab where we will do some seed testing to test whether the seeds that we seed banked are still viable after we have stored them.
Thanks so much, Wee Fong, for showing us around the seed bank today. So, okay, can I grab some seeds and scatter them around Singapore now?
Before these seeds can be planted out to the roadsides, into parks, first they need to be germinated in a controlled environment. So you can head over to the NParks Pasir Panjang nursery where my colleague Zaki will show you how seeds are being nurtured there.
Oh, sounds good. Let's go! And now we are in the NParks Pasir Panjang nursery and this place houses over 2,000 species of trees, palms, shrubs, climbers and plants. And I think that's Zaki over there. Let's go over and say hi. Hi Zaki, what are you doing here?
Hello, I'm planting seeds. These are Shorea leprosula seeds. They are tall trees that form the emergent layer of our forest.
Oh, these are trees?
They are.
They look like super short over here.
Yes, in the wild they grow up to 60 meters tall. And you can find them growing in Bukit Timah Nature Reserve.
Okay, if these are going to be trees, why are you planting the trees in this box?
It is safer here because they get watered consistently and we don't want them to die, especially if they are rare like this. Palm over here is the Orinia silvicola. It is critically endangered, which means that there are only few palms standing in the wild.
Wow!
Yeah.
Okay, so now we are carrying out a plant transplant. So we are transferring these into their new pots or new bags. How do we know when they are ready to be transferred here?
When they already produce enough roots and leaves, over here they are fighting for their nutrients. So right now we are giving them all the leg space.
Once they are here, how tall can they grow up to?
Depending on the species, they can grow up to 1 meter tall. When they get too big for the bag and it's time to rebag them.
One last one.
Well done!
And now all these trees are ready to be planted. Let's go and deliver this to the arborist. Hi Abigail!
Hello!
Hey, what are you doing here?
Oh, okay, so I'm an arborist at NParks and I'm in charge of managing and caring for the trees in Singapore.
Great, you're just the right person because I have Dora here. She's ready to be planted and I'm super excited for this. Can you bring me along and show me how it's done?
Sure, but before that, we'll need some tools.
Oh, okay, let's go.
Okay. So first, you'll need a pair of gloves to protect your hands from getting cut, a chanko to excavate the planting hole, and a watering can to water the tree. So first up, you have to excavate the planting hole using the chanko like this. So hold it in the middle and at the end over here, and then just put it down.
This is a really good arm workout.
It is.
So how big must this planting hole be?
Well, actually because Dora has a very small planting bag, so it doesn't have to be too big. For the depth, you just have to measure how deep the planting bag is, and then you have to dig as deep as the planting bag.
Just so it can sit nicely.
Yes, so we are actually almost there. So after this, we can slowly place Dora inside the planting hole. Before that, we also have to slit open the bag. So now that there's no more plastic, we can use either the chanko or your hands to put it back into the planting hole.
How far apart do you have to space the trees?
Usually we will either keep about 3 to 4 meters apart from each tree. It also depends on how much the branches of the tree spreads out at maturity. So the last step, of course, is to give the plants enough water so that it can grow big and healthy.
How often must we water like these trees around?
Well, thankfully in Singapore we have enough rainfall most of the year, but during drought season or when it's a bit drier, then we'll have to give them enough water. So it depends on the needs of the plant and we'll just give them whenever it's needed.
So Abigail, now that this tree is planted, do we just leave it to fend for itself?
Well, for NParks, we actually have a tree management program that is based on international standards where we inspect the tree, prune it and fertilize it. So for this particular tree, it's called a Dipterocarpus sublimellus. So first thing you do is to look at the crown of the tree, which is where the branches and the leaves are growing. And then after that, you have to measure the girth of the tree using a measuring tape. So for this particular tree, it's about 3.7 meters in girth. After you inspect the girth of the tree, you also have to look at the general health of the tree to make sure that there are no termite trails or any unhealthy branches or leaves.
Wow, I didn't know it's so much hard work just to plant and take care of all these trees. So huge thanks to NParks for making our city so green and beautiful and surrounded by trees everywhere.
That's right, trees are very important because they help to absorb atmospheric carbon, cool the temperatures in the surroundings, and control the increase in temperature due to the urban heat island effect.
And they also help to alleviate the effects of climate change, and they provide food and habitats for wildlife, and they also make Singapore a more pleasant and sustainable place to live in.
The 1 Million Trees movement aims to restore nature back into our city through the planting of more than 1 million trees across Singapore over the next 10 years, in close partnership with the community, as part of NParks' effort to achieve our City in Nature vision. This vision is a key pillar of the Singapore Green Plan 2030, which is a whole-of-nation effort to make Singapore a more sustainable home for all of us.
And now, if you're not already on the Untamed Reboot platform, do head over there, answer some questions and complete your mission. And stay tuned for more exciting videos and activities coming your way in Untamed 2021, rebooting our world. Now stay curious and stay untamed!